in a quiet suburb of Baltimore, into a family with deep Italian roots. A boy named Luigi Nicholas Mangione was born on May 6, 1998. His grandfather, Nicholas Mangione Sr., once started life in a poor immigrant apartment in Little Italy, where even the toilet was outside, but over time built a veritable empire. Real estate, nursing homes, country clubs, and even a conservative radio station. The family became one of the most influential in Maryland philanthropists, hospital donors, people whose name everyone knew. Luigi grew up in this world of prosperity, but without ostentatious luxury. His parents, Louis and Kathleen, tried to ensure their children remained ordinary. He attended the elite private Gilman School for Boys, where annual tuition exceeded $37,000. There he was captain of the football, wrestling, and track and field teams, and in 2016, he delivered the valedictorian speech as the top student of the graduating class. Classmates remembered him as a smart, charming guy who loved math and was always thinking about how to make things more efficient. After school, Luigi enrolled at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the most prestigious in the country. There, he didn't just study. In 4 years, he earned 2 degrees simultaneously, a bachelor's and a master's in computer engineering and computer science, graduating with honors. He founded a video game development club, which grew from a handful of enthusiasts into a large team, and even worked as a counselor at a summer camp for gifted high school students at Stanford. In 2020, just as the pandemic was beginning, he graduated from university and began a career as a data engineer. Everything was going according to plan. A brilliant future, money, respect, but inside, something snapped. Around this time, Luigi began having back problems, severe, debilitating pain that made normal life impossible. He moved to Hawaii, to a small surfing community, where he tried to find peace in the waves and hiking. Friends later recounted that he was a calm, smiling guy, but the pain was gradually consuming him. In 2023, he decided to undergo spinal fusion surgery. After the surgery, the pain vanished, and on Reddit, under a username that appeared to belong to him, he wrote enthusiastic posts, sharing his recovery story, advising others not to fear surgeons, and to advocate for themselves. It seemed life was getting back on track, but simultaneously, something else was brewing inside him, a deep, burning dissatisfaction with the system in which he lived. Luigi began to view American healthcare not as aid, but as a machine that profits from suffering. Insurance companies deny treatment to preserve profits. Patients drown in debt. Life expectancy in the richest country in the world is at the level of developing nations. UnitedHealthcare, the largest insurer in the country, became a symbol of all this for him. A corporation that grows while people die. He wrote about this in notes that would later be found in his possession. These parasites simply deserved it, read one of them. His family, according to some reports, began to drift away. After the surgery, he became more withdrawn, possibly even cutting ties. His work as an engineer gave way to freelance, and then to wandering altogether. He lived in one place, then another, always with a backpack on his shoulders. In November 2024, Luigi arrived in New York, under the name Mark Rosario, with a fake New Jersey ID. He checked into the high New York City hostel on the Upper West Side. He extended his stay several times. No one paid him any mind. An ordinary young guy with dark curls, a neat beard, and a calm gaze. He rode an e-bike, bought water and snack bars at Starbucks, and watched. On December 4th, at 6:44 a.m., a masked figure appeared at the north entrance of the Hilton Midtown Hotel, where UnitedHealthcare was holding its annual investor conference. Brian Thompson, the company's 50-year-old CEO, had just walked out of the building. He was a father of 2, a successful executive who, according to colleagues, knew how to smile even in difficult moments. Luigi approached from behind, fired twice into his back, and then once more. Thompson fell to the sidewalk. The killer turned and walked away calmly, without panic. Shell casings remained at the scene engraved with the words, "Deny, defend, depose," a direct reference to a book about how insurers avoid paying claims. In a backpack abandoned in Central Park, investigators found stacks of fake monopoly money, a symbol of corporate greed. Luigi left the city by bus. For 5 days, a nationwide manhunt ensued. Surveillance videos, descriptions, photos in the mask. On December 9th, in the small town of Altoona, Pennsylvania, a McDonald's employee noticed a guy ordering food and sitting at a table. His face matched the wanted bulletin. Police arrived quickly. When he was detained, officers found a 3D printed 9mm pistol with a silencer. a magazine with ammunition wrapped in underwear, several fake IDs, cash, a passport, and a red notebook in his backpack. Inside were entries that prosecutors would later call a manifesto. I finally feel confident in what I am going to do. The investor conference is a real gift. It embodies everything that is wrong with our healthcare system. He wrote of a deadly, greedy insurance cartel and how companies get rich while people suffer. These parasites simply deserved it. Fingerprints on a Starbucks bottle and a candy bar wrapper matched. The gun matched the casings at the crime scene. The arrest triggered a veritable storm. Luigi, a 26-year-old guy from a wealthy family and an Ivy League graduate, suddenly found himself at the center of global attention. To some, he was a cold-blooded killer who had taken the life of a father and husband. To others, he was a hero. Social media exploded. Memes of Luigi as the Mario Brothers character, comparisons to Tony Soprano, who says in the series, "In this house, Luigi Mangione is a hero." End of story. People shared stories about how insurance companies denied them cancer treatment, and how debts from surgeries destroyed families. Spotify playlists, fan fiction, and even fundraisers for legal fees raising over $70,000. Some called him a regulator, others the first to stand up against the system. Free Luigi became a trend, but there were also those who reminded everyone, this was still murder. More than a year has passed since then. Now, in February 2026, Luigi is in prison. He denies guilt, and his lawyers are fighting over every piece of evidence, arguing that the search was illegal, and that the writings are not a confession, but reflections. In New York, the state trial is scheduled for June 8, the federal one for September. The death penalty in the federal case was ruled out by the judge too many procedural violations. Too politicized. He remains calm at hearings, sometimes even shouting out. This is double jeopardy for the same offense. In his cell, he receives socks with hearts inside them sent by fans. Meanwhile, debates in society show no sign of subsiding. Murderer or symbol? A man who snapped? Or one who forced millions to think about the value of life in a system where profit matters more than people? Luigi Mangione was no ordinary guy. He was smart and privileged, but he saw a fracture in the world that many ignore. And on one cold December day, he decided that he had the right to close it with his own hand. This story is not over yet, but it has already changed the way America looks at its insurance companies and at itself.